Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your December 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to bring you, hopefully, a really invigorating solar return reading for you. Here we are coming into Sagittarius season at long last. I think it's going to be a great month, and I'm excited to delve into in a way, the year ahead for Sagittarius. I will make a devoted year ahead video, but I usually like to kind of talk about the year ahead as well for each season, for whichever sign it is during the season. So it's Sag season. I'll be talking about the way things are changing for you. I will be doing intuitive messages followed by a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading, which will be linked below on Patreon. Go check out the Patreon page. This is the best time of the year to pick up a subscription if you've never tried it. So yeah, I'll link that below. But yeah, let's talk about you in December, Sag, in your season. Okay, so I don't really like what I'm seeing. I'm kidding. I love what you're shooting for. I love the inner feeling. I love the sort of momentary notion that you're receiving, or the momentary essence that you like really understand yourself. Like, that's really increasing. That's been an incredible thing about 2022 for you, having had your ruling planet in Pisces and with Neptune as well. Like, you get it. You have the sort of interior understanding of exactly what you need, exactly what you're going for. I don't really like the ground that you're standing on in as you're aiming for your goal, or as you're moving towards it, though. There's something about things since 2020, things since Jupiter was in Capricorn, that really has to start wrapping up here. And I'm going to be talking more about this in your 2023 year ahead forecast, about how there's a really big change for Sagittarius on the horizon. There's a huge difference in like composure and in the way that you channel energy. Okay, Sagittarius, of course, is a more active and extroverted sign, typically on its own. So it will kind of boldly express the energy, or it will sometimes also have an abundance of energy, or a need to really express energy in a fiery, abundant way. That has been really hard for you to channel properly over these last 2 years. The Jupiter-Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn in 2020 would have been punishing, or would have been almost impossible to really channel the excess energy right. So you might have seen it like turning inward, or you might have seen it sort of doubling down and imploding. And here we have a need to see that, if that's still happening, and an understanding of how it's going to be channeled in the future. So for the month of December, Sagittarius 2022, it's like high stakes stuff coming up for you. It is a major ending phase that you're in. It is also like not guaranteed, or there's a feeling of contingency. There's a feeling of like needing to really buckle down and methodically work towards your higher self, or towards the greater expression that you have been feeling deeply. Okay, watch out for a price tag that gets you moving the wrong direction. Okay, watch out also for procrastination, or anything that has you saying, okay, I'm just going to sit down and play that game for a while. Meanwhile, I don't like measure up to the most important phase of my life. Okay. That's going to be very possible. And because it happens, I don't think that it's ever going to happen again, or I think that you're completely breaking out of a cycle of procrastination, or breaking out of that sort of inward turned, expressive energy that hasn't really been coming together right since 2020. For those of you who understand, you get it. If it's not resonating, like, don't worry that much about it, but because this is kind of a complicated and really, really specific kind of message. But it's going to be important to start generating or creating or blueprinting new ways to channel energy, and new ways to rise to the occasion, new ways to really embody yourself, because I feel that there's a part of Sagittarius people that hasn't really been embodied, or there's something that is not really stepping up to the table that it's aiming to step up to. I don't know what that means to some of you, but that's what's coming through. There's something that's like not actually connecting, or something that's not actually making the move that it is blueprinting or that it is planning. So we've got to solve this disconnect, and I'm going to try to get some more of that for you here intuitively. So how to solve that disconnect between why it is that you want a certain thing but you won't authorize it, or why it is that you're dreaming of a certain path but you won't step onto it. Fear of failure, of course, is natural for everybody. But I don't think that this is about that. I think this is actually rooted in some type of addictive tendency or in some type of short-sighted situation. So we're really having to zoom out here. We're really having to look at things from way up overhead to understand the potential and longer-term significance of what we're partaking in. That will do you really good in December, Sagittarius. Try to, and also January as well, try to really understand what long-running paths have yielded you at the end of it all. And are you better for wear for your participations? That's a big thing for you to see here as we come into the last month of the year. Are you better off because you chose something? Is a certain career, job, relationship, or long-term momentum bettering your life? If you feel that it is, that's really great. That's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. If you feel that it's not, if you feel you're worse for wear, there's going to have to be a big pivot directly, okay? Yes, you have the Fool reversed and the Magician reversed and the Tower coming up in your reading, the Justice card as well, and the Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, we have 5 major Arcana cards this month. I would say it's your season, it's your time of the year. December is going to be the biggest month of your year. There are graduations for some of you here. There are promotions for some of you here. There are, so many new beginnings that you've needed, that have been like signed up for, that have been right here for you, that I feel you've been like delaying or delegating. And by like between like December and March, okay, these can actually manifest. So the Fool and the Magician are reversed, which are the 0 and the number 1, the earliest, most youthful, most preliminary energies in the tarot. There's something in the Sagittarius energy that does not trust itself enough to start over or to truly experience that new beginning. And I will tell you, Sagittarius, that the Fool is a major archetype for the year of 2023, okay? So seeing it reversed here in December is not that great for me to see for you. It says to me that you're trusting more in the long-running structural cycles. You're moving more into that Jupiter and Capricorn feeling where it's like, I don't trust the universe to have my back. I would rather make myself work way too hard for that passive income so that I feel like I'm in control enough to have the foundation to do what I want to do. And we have this like complete rejection of like support or sacred support from the universe that I think has to be turned around this month. Because by the end of the month, you're totally like understanding, you're like, okay, it doesn't really matter how much I think I'm ready for something. It doesn't really matter how much I feel prepared. That which will be, you know. I really feel that there has to be a little bit more of a que sera moment. There has to be more of a what will be moment. Rather than a hyper-control orientation that has you thinking that you alone, okay, this is hard. This is a energetic knot, I feel, in the Sagittarius collective quantum. You have really empowered over the last few years because you showed yourself that you could choose, or that you had the power over your house, your money, your life, your location, all that stuff. Here we're seeing a bit of a change there where it's like, now I understand the limits of that independence, or I understand the limits of that sort of self-control doctrine. And here I need perhaps more of a trust in the earth or trust in the universe as a more quantum being, as opposed to having to wrap my head around every single little aspect of my life and micromanage everything to such an extreme that I have an illusion of control. That's going to be where you work out that knot, and that's also going to happen this month. It is possible in the month of December, Sagittarius, this reading's running long, that's fine. It is possible to have kind of like a breakdown and then aha moment. Okay, the Tower card and the Justice card. You will probably have to account for something. You will probably have to understand timing better. You will probably have to be like, what did it take to do that? What has this given me? You're going to get the results. You're going to get the bill. You're going to get the statement. You're going to get maybe the tax return here or the inquiry here. There's going to be something that's like, this is what you tried to do and this is what happened. And it's like all in black and white. Possibilities of like even being like, I don't know, summoned for something in a very officious way, or just really having finality, okay? This can play out really positively, like the end of a certain trial that you'll never have to participate again. For the Sagittarians who are doing good with their energy, you complete a life stage here, and it's really nice to not any longer have some of those worries anymore. There's a feeling of certain immunities coming through. There's a feeling of certain things that you just don't have to do anymore if it's well. Because again, by the end of the month, you're at Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles. So that's like, congratulations. You know, there's like a feeling of luck, fortune, like, wow, look what I did in the year 2022. So congratulations to those of you who are there. But you have to understand that the energy switches really fast in 2023. And there can be kind of like a really fast moving momentum that suddenly halts, or has to understand how to transform itself or transition itself into a new type of front-facing expression. I wouldn't expect as a Sagittarius for 2022 to repeat again in 2023. Okay, you have to understand how things modulate. You need to understand how things get easier and yield you more. Okay, that's going to be really important. Again, this is not meant to be a 2023 year ahead video, but again, the next year for you, Sagittarius, really to me looks to be toned down a lot while increasing your feeling of meaning and significance. So what does that probably require in your life? You know, are there certain things that you've been tormenting yourself over, like a business, job, career, anything in that Capricorn territory, especially because something has lingered since 2020 with Jupiter in Capricorn, and we won't be here December of 2023 saying the same thing. Like that's changing very soon. What can you do, and what do you stand to be able to do to actually like enjoy life more, and to not have to feel you need some of the degree of control that you have gained over 2022? Because I really feel that we see like the negatives of certain control spectrums, you know, the Fool reversed, the Magician reversed, the Tower, the Justice card. It's very much like, this is what it means to have been so extremely successful, to the degree that now you've got to have like, I don't know, security, or you've got to have like all these different like lawyers or accountants or like crazy weird connecting points in order to like facilitate this feeling of control. So we definitely have a careful for what you wish for situation here. And the beauty of smaller, more condensed, more new things in comparison to like older structures. So it's a great invite for you to start thinking about, okay, what is the next thing? What is the next, you know, Fool Magician experience for me? Because those being in reverse seems out of time. So it would be nice if those were upright. It would be nice if you felt more confident about some of these new opportunities, because those hold more for you, I think, than you might be letting on. I definitely feel like a clinging onto old structures, because we want that sense of safety, or we want that also like legitimacy, or we want something connected to identity with some sort of success spectrum. So think about that, and think about also like, are you willing for that to be the only thing, or are you willing to go like another 10-year cycle with these types of heavy securities? Because I think that there is something within the Sagittarius quantum that is like, I need to experience something I've never experienced before. And likely there's going to need to be like a merging. Okay, there's going to need to be a combination of like having a partly old situation and then like something completely new. So let's talk briefly about your week to week, Sagittarius. It's again a long reading. Week number 1, the Page of Wands rooted down by the Fool reversed. Try to not inhibit your creativity. The universe is experiencing you as a more creative person now, as a more happy-go-lucky person. You're finally moving back into your sacred Sagittarian energy. Don't feel like you have to cut yourself off from the new beginnings that come with that, though. The full reverse kind of stifles it. It's kind of like, I just don't want to risk a new industry, or I don't want to risk messing up what I have. I feel like you've achieved something really cool, and you're kind of like, oh my gosh, how do I do anything now? Because I don't want to mess with the formula, or I don't want to mess with what has come together. And you'd be surprised about how much better things could actually be. Week number 2, the 8 of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by the Magician reversed. Something is old and outworn, a system, a structure, a repetitive cycle, a production cycle, something that you're creating, something that you're over and over again doing, jobs, might not be giving you the same type of power anymore. If you see like a decline in your business, or if you see like a negative curve, or you see that, despite all of these inflations, like for you, maybe the salary has decreased or has gone down. If that applies to you, see that, okay? See that and understand what that means. And if that's not happening to you, I feel like this might have more to do with like hobbies, because both of these cards can deal with like what you enjoy to do, what you have a meaning behind. So there could be like a change in hobby, or something could be getting old, and you might want to think about, what's compelling you more now. Week number 3, the Tower, rooted down by the Justice card. Okay, I kind of feel this differently than I would usually feel it. I just think there's a major dose of karma there. Both of those cards are connected to karma, and don't doubt anything that falls through. Also, don't devalue the degree of your success during that time. There could be a question of like, why was this the way forward? Why is it like this? There's kind of like a why me energy that's coming in there. And you want to really take time to value what you've built up, and also what might have like decreased or what might have come down, to understand the greater cycles of life. Sagittarius is a sign that's very reliant. This is one of the negatives of Sagittarius. Very reliant on increases and expansions and growth. Remember, Sagittarius, if something decreases, if something falls, if something remits in some kind of way, this is an opportunity for a greater expansion that you can't yet perceive, but it's like a guarantee. So try to see like anything that reduces, or anything also, it might be more subtle than this too. It might not be like very direct. It could be like, I just don't feel good about this anymore. I just don't think that this is right. You could be like kind of thinking, is this the right thing for me? Again, the Justice card, it's like, is this right or wrong? Am I spending my time in a right or wrong way? And with the Tower, it's kind of like, oh my God, this is like really determining a lot about my life. And is this right? Like a life path or something. I think whatever you're elevating in is a great way forward there. So try to pay attention to that and really see what is decreasing, okay? And try to take that as signs. Week 4, the Wheel of Fortune, rooted down by the King of Pentacles. Beautiful, okay? There's a feeling of like a crowning, or something really fortunate coming through. You have done it. You have achieved some kind of goal. Also, it's likely throughout the entire month of December that you're just like in that finishing mode. You're in that last mile of the marathon. You're in that completionist stage, kind of like 9 of Wands or 10 of Wands, even though that's not here in your reading. That's kind of what I feel. And then it's like by the last week of the month, you're like, yes, I've done it. Like I've come through 2022, and that might have been one of the biggest gauntlets of your life so far. And then just wait for the incredible new beginnings that will be coming through. But yeah, change in fortune, change in dynamic in the 4th week, and some type of elevation, material elevation. But yeah, let's talk more about that in your extended Sag. I'll talk more about your season and some of the deeper aspects of it. It will be linked below and in the center of your screen now. Come check out the Patreon page. It's a really great service. Much love, Sagittarius. Have a great month. Bye.